All right, so day one is in the books here as of publishing this. You may have just grinded out your first few levels, maybe a prestige, but today I want to take some time in this video to discuss the most important items that you should consider for your prestige token for permanent unlocking things in Black Ops 6. As you may or may not know, depending on if you follow the reveals up until launch, every prestige you'll end up getting a token that you can use to permanently unlock one item in the progression track, so that once everything relocks after you start a new prestige, that one item you chose is exempt. It is unlocked whether it's level 2 or a level 55 unlock. So there's a lot of, I don't know if risk is the right word, but you can game it out to be the best fit for you. And today I'd like to discuss that a little bit with you, because unlike years prior, there's a few things that can pop up in the near future that may end up making a pick wasted, which of course we want to avoid. So drop your thoughts as we go along. What's your level as of day one? Drop a like if you enjoy the video or find it at all insightful, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all things Black Ops 6 as we gear up for a ton more content ahead. I'd love to have you in the community as we chase down 600,000 subscribers. Finally, today's video is brought to you in part by 1v1 Me, but for now, let's get into it. So first, a brief recap or mention. If you go to your progression tab for Black Ops 6 and you look at the entirety of the leveling track, with the token you earn each prestige, you can permanently unlock any of those items that you see bound by level. Anything that you can add to your class can be unlocked. So that means you have choices between weapons, perks, equipment, wildcard streaks, and field upgrades. So it's a lot of items to choose from, and with only one singular token per maybe like 8 to 12 to 18 hours of playtime, however long it may take you, what in the world do you use that on? Well, first, I think we should break this down. Categorically, there are a few things that can be beneficial to you, a top 5 perhaps of each of these categories to give you some options, because at the end of the day, it's all subjective. Towards the end of the video, I'll give you my personal top 5 rundown here of what I think are the things you should absolutely be using, but again, it might not be your specific fit. As for weapons, good choices can be, I think, dictated into 2 subcategories even further. A fear of missing out, or weapons that are actually really far in that leveling progression track, but also pretty solid. The AS Val is both of what we just mentioned there. The ammo capacity at base makes it a bit hard to manage along with the rate of fire, but if you're accurate, this thing is stupid easy to get kills with, and so far it's been my fastest weapon that I've completed through the headshot grind. I think I finished those in like the first 15 or 16 levels or something. The Jackal PDW is also another one that is definitely worth a consideration here with this, that it's still incredible even after the beta. Not too much has been done as of the launch build here to knock it down a peg. The DM10 is another one that I'd recommend that I think is pretty solid, and again, it's higher in that leveling track. But in terms of like fear of missing out related stuff, for me, this is more so relating to the camo grinding. I'm trying to do all camos per category as I go along, so while doing that with my leveling journey, it's like, well, I can't work on specific weapons until I unlock them, and if I relock them with prestige immediately, I gotta wait even longer to do that. So for these kind of things, I've actually prolonged prestiging to finish the AS Val Gold, honestly. But then we have the GPMG, LR762, and Compact 92. Now, I know that's 6, but there's a double weapon unlock at level 49, so I felt like we should cover both of those if you're talking about high-ranking level weapons that might be useful to you in either the camo grind or you might find pretty solid to actually game with. Now, there is one thing specifically with weapons in mind that you should know. Blueprints, either earned or purchased, will also unlock the base default weapon, meaning some of these you may already have permanently unlocked, or they could be permanently unlocked here soon. The Vault Edition and campaign rewards offer blueprints for the Ames 85, Jackal PDW, LR762, Marine SP, and the Combat Knife blueprints, so those are already weapons that already have perma unlocks out there. So take that into consideration when deciding what you're going to permanently unlock, because maybe there's things coming in the leveling track alone, like prestige rewards, that might unlock this for you sooner rather than later. Like at Prestige 1, level 50, you get the Teddy as a Liar C9 blueprint. So while that's an example of a blueprint that's a default weapon, the C9 is your base SMG, it also is something that sets the precedent for things like, well, at Prestige 6, level 50 is the Robot Abomination blueprint for the DM10, a weapon that's unlocked at standard level 43. Or the VMP Elite at Prestige 8, level 50 is the Jackal PDW, offering another one, a third way to get that weapon permanently unlocked immediately. So bear that kind of stuff in mind when considering weapons in particular to permanently unlock. Now, before we move on to the other items in play, gonna set about 60 seconds aside for a message from today's sponsor. Hey, Espresso here. So it's football, hockey, basketball, it's sports season. And you know that rush you get whenever you clutch up your fantasy matchup for the week? Well, what if you could do that while making some cash by just watching live streams? Sounds crazy, right? But let me explain. Today's sponsor is 1v1me, a platform that lets you stake the best Black Ops 6, Warzone, whatever games you're into, the best players in the world, and watch their matches unfold just like a fantasy league. Best part, you make money if they win. 1v1me has been going on for a little while now and has paid out over 50 million in winnings so far. All you need to do is start by finding a match that you want to stake on and get to rooting on your favorites. With over 175 matches per week, there's always something to stake on, so if you want to get in on it, head to 1v1.me/espresso and use code espresso to get $10 added to your first stake. This code is only available for a limited time, so make sure you head to your app store and download 1v1me and use code espresso to get $10 added to your first stake. And thanks to 1v1me for sponsoring this video. Now, back to it. The other things you can end up unlocking through this progression track, let's talk about perks. Personally, I think for consideration for a permanent unlock token, forward intel is valuable. Tac Mask at level 44, absolutely worth considering. Fast Hands, a nice addition here that honestly I do enjoy having at level 38. Cold-Blooded at 41. Ninja at 35. I personally haven't found myself needing to use this just yet, but I know a lot of people will swear by Ninja. And then Dexterity at level 19 is a lower ranked one, but it's still nice to have if you have a token to burn and you're looking to get something immediately, because that does offer some nice abilities to you early on. Wildcards, Perk Greed is absolutely worth something considering at 54. Prepper, where you can take 2 field upgrades. Gunfighter, to allow you to have more attachments. Danger Close at 38, and then Overkill at 24. Field upgrades of Sleeper Agent, Acoustic Amp, War Cry, Neurogas, the Morphine Injector, all of those I think are valuable in the field upgrades category. Equipment, to me, stims are about the only things that I really care about in the progression track. That's basically all I end up using. I think that a smoke grenade is going to be useful in Warzone. Things like your impact grenade, drill charge, or combat axe is also something that subjectively, if you're looking to permanently unlock equipment items, those can be useful. And then streaks, as somebody that usually just plays non-lethal stuff, UAV, a lethal of some kind maybe, an advanced UAV is what I usually set up, but honestly, I could probably get away with the Scout Pulse, UAV, and Harp. So for me, the Harp is probably the score streak that I would take as a permanent unlock. But other things like the Chopper Gunner, Dreadnought, Interceptors, Strategic Bombers, those probably have some fear of missing out stuff because they're higher in the leveling track. But okay, so that's categorically a few things that you can consider to permanently unlock for each of these categories. But I mean, hey, Espresso, that doesn't really narrow it down. That's still 30, 31 with that double up in weapons, 31 items to choose from, and we only get 1 token per prestige. So what are you doing? What are we choosing? And you're right. But if you thought to yourself, man, I wouldn't use a token on a lot of these items in this list, well, you're in the same boat as me. For me, I'd say that my overall top 5 items that I am gonna probably use here within the first 5 prestiges, I'd probably use one on the AS Val. I'd probably use one on Perk Greed to allow me to get that combat specialty, but also end up having some other attributes that I'd like in a perk. I mean, I really do enjoy the Enforcer combat specialty to get that quick health regeneration and the like, but I also sacrifice some really key perks as a result. I can get those back with Perk Greed. Tac Mask is something that I have been stunned into oblivion trying to do my camo grind, so it's one of those things that it's nice to have and not have to worry about that. The Harp, again, is one that, as somebody that likes to run non-lethal streaks, probably going to unlock that at some point. And then the 5th one is kind of a toss-up. I'd say subjectively it could go between Ninja, the Gunfighter wildcard, and again, the UAV, but that's an earlier unlock, so it's not necessarily like my immediate jump to be like, I need to permanently unlock that. So those are what I would personally suggest running in terms of unlock tokens. But again, it's all subjective. You may find value in other things that I do not, and vice versa. And that's totally fine, which is why I wanted to give a few options here per category in that leveling grind. But getting 1 per prestige, making sure that you don't burn a token on something you might permanently unlock in the near future with the leveling track of prestige rewards or a shop item perhaps, that's something that you should also be conscious of as well. So I wanted to relay this information here to you, maybe give you a little bit of insight here that could help you better make a decision on what to unlock, but that is where we're going to wrap it up. So let me know your thoughts down below. What are you guys going to use your permanent unlock tokens on here within Black Ops 6? Love to get your thoughts, but if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 6 as we gear up for still so much content up on deck. I'd love to have you guys in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.